Hello! It's 12:30 on a Thursday. So we're chatting about preventing weight gain, that is. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Fine. It's so good to be with you. We talk about an ounce of prevention, which can come to your inbox every Thursday morning if you just go to stephaniefinemd.com and you can sign up right there. And today is a fun subject. Fun all the way around. So it's all about friends. That song in my head is like, you gotta have friends. I am not a singer, but that song is going through my mind. And the other image I have whenever I think of friends is Lucy and Ethel. I mean, they were good friends. Sweet. So the main thing about friends, two things that are important about friends. One, they're good for your health. Literally. Now, I'm sure you can think of a couple of friends that are not good for your health, but that's not what I'm talking about right now, although we could talk about that. So having connections and friends is very, very good for your health. Actually, in the blog, there's a great infographic that says all this, the study-based, like that they've shown through studies that these things are true, like you get better from illnesses faster, you live longer, literally. I mean, there's really good evidence about this, friends. And it seems like it's a basic human need, is that we connect. You know, we need to connect to each other. And what I always think about is like villages. You know, we used to live in little villages and we're related to everyone and everyone was more together. Now things are a little different. But, and so that's why it's still important for us to have social networks. Now, for some people, it feels, well, it looks different. So what I'm talking about are introverts and extroverts. And what that means in terms of introvert and extrovert is introverts get their energy from being alone. So they refuel by being alone. Extroverts get their energy from interacting with others. So that's what introvert and extrovert means. Okay, it doesn't mean that you don't like it. Like there's plenty of introverts who have lots of friends. So that's not the issue. The issue is actually how you get your energy and how you interact. So, but the main point about this with friends is that we've turned into a society that a lot of times, you know, in school, you naturally have friends, right? I mean, you're just sitting around other kids, you connect with the ones that, you know, you like, and even in college, I mean, those things are so easy. As we get older and into our lives, we have different, you know, connections. So maybe at work, or maybe if you're a parent and you have kid groups, or the parents of your kids' friends, you know, that kind of thing. But it can get less and less and less unless we make, and also because people in the United States move around a lot, right? So if we used to stay in those little villages, everyone would stay and you'd know everyone and that would be really easy. But that's not always how it is now. So people move away. So sometimes as we age, it could be harder to make new friends or stay engaged with the ones we have because maybe we're not, you know, near them anymore. And friends, and so there's two parts of that. But anyway, friends that you are close to, and I will get back to that. Friends that you're in proximity to, often will make connections with them with food. You know, like, I'll meet you for lunch, I'll meet you for breakfast, I'll meet you for dinner. You know, that's how we connect. But I am here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. And that's what I'd like to encourage. So I want to keep the friends and ditch the calories, because often if we'll meet our friend for dinner or lunch or something, or breakfast or something like that, it's a higher calorie meal. That's the main thing. You know, if you have them come over for cottage cheese and fruit, awesome, but that's usually not what's happening. And when you normally have cottage cheese and fruit for breakfast and now you're having bacon and eggs and toast and, you know, a sweet roll, I mean, that can be a huge difference. And the other thing that ends up being important is that connection that you have in your mind with seeing that friend. So whenever I see that friend, I always have bacon and eggs and sweet, you know, cinnamon rolls. That becomes the connection. And what I really want us to do is to uncouple that so that you're having fun with your friends and connecting, but you're doing it while exercising, or while out, or while getting some errands done, or while getting your nails done, or while going shopping, or by taking a class. So my very favorite double whammy health-wise, specifically also for maintaining weight loss, is a hobby with a friend. because that way you deepen your connection with your friend because you're exploring a new topic. You are letting things light up in your brain about new neurons or connecting with it, learning a new skill. And you may find something that you love, and then there'll be those other people, and now there's a whole other bunch of connections you can have. So that's the holy grail, is a new hobby, or it doesn't even have to be new, a hobby with a friend. Or, see, it's like the chicken or the egg, because if you start to do a hobby, you may make friends there. And if it's an activity, it's not around food. And that's the only point I'm making. I actually made this transition with some friends years ago that became walking buddies. So, and it's so funny because I'll still in my mind think we should meet for lunch, but we really shouldn't. And they usually come back with, what hike are we going on? You know what I mean? So because like 10 years out with maintenance, that voice will still say, oh, it would be so nice to go out to lunch. It's always going to be there. So as long as I'm making a plan, and I'll say, no, a hike is better, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to eat around that time, right? So if we're meeting at 10:30, then I'll know to maybe have a snack right before, so that'll get me to lunch right after. You do have to fit in the food, but it doesn't have to be the higher calorie restaurant meal that you might normally have when you're meeting a friend. It's just an idea. So the other piece too that I was going to say is, when we do have long distance friends, some of that is then mitigated, right? Because if you're talking on the phone, you're not meeting for lunch. Or if you're chatting on Facebook, usually you're not eating at the same time. So those kind of connections can work. And in the world that we live in now, that kind of connection is still a connection. It's not the same as physically being with someone, but it certainly has its benefits in terms of having friends. Like the friend benefit is still there, particularly if you know them. You know what I don't know about is my sons play on computers all the time, and you can play with others that you've never met before. They're on the same game and you're playing with them, and of course you get to know them because they'll interact with you and you see them all the time and that sort of thing. That's a type of friendship, and I don't know how that affects your health. I should look into that because, of course, I care about my kids' health. But it's interesting because they'll be playing with friends sitting, in the kitchen. Very interesting, these times of ours. Any time with friends, I just don't know if there's a different degree, helps you feel connected, feel heard, feel bolstered. And when you're feeling that way, your immune system is naturally increased. That's how that works. And what I was going to say about friends who drain you. So, we make friends along the way as we grow up. And sometimes those friends no longer fit. So we'll make a plan with someone and we're dreading it. We don't enjoy it. We don't have the same life experience, and that doesn't, you certainly can be friends with people who don't have the same life experience, but it could be so bristly, it's just not enjoyable. And I invite you to notice that, because that actually can decrease your health in the opposite way of what I just said about increasing your immune system. When you're feeling anxiety or regret or guilt or any of those sorts of things, that does not boost your immune system. And also, often when we're dreading that interaction, we will purposely go to a restaurant and then be excited about a really fatty meal because we just want to have some pleasure in this difficult interaction. So that is a double whammy the other way, in that you're not only meeting around calories, but you're very likely going to have more because you're uncomfortable in the situation. So I invite you to look at those friendships and to work towards not spending a lot of time there. It's Pam. Hi, Pam. I don't know if you have any of these things, but Pam, I do encourage you to make sure you spend time with your friends. It's great for your health, and my favorite is walking with my friends. I hate this saying, but you kill two birds with one stone. I need to come up with a better one, but you get double things done. The other thing that's really interesting about walking with a friend, and they say this about with parenting too, like if you walk with your kid, you know, you're walking side by side. You don't look at each other, you know, as you walk, you're walking side by side. And there tends to be more openness because there's a little less vulnerability. You're right next to each other, and this usually isn't a problem for women, but as you're walking, you aren't looking into each other's eyes, so it's a little easier to be honest and open. So walking is a really good one. So that is my recommendation. In the blog, I have 18 suggestions of things you can do that have no calories, and you can connect with your friend there. So that is your job this week, is to call up a friend and get together without calories. It's a challenge, and I know you can do it. That's it. That's also, by the way, as you get to that new connection, remember I said you'll have a connection with the fatty breakfasts and this friend, you absolutely can change that to have a walking friend. So every time you think of that friend, you're like, oh, we're gonna go for a walk. It's just a healthier way of doing it. And when we're talking about maintenance of weight loss, which is my passion and my hope for everyone, is maintaining weight loss. When we forge those relationships not around food, we are helping ourselves maintain forever, forever and ever and ever. So that's the long-term effect. Have a great week. Challenge you to have some interactions with friends not around food, and let me know about them. You can join planforpossible.com, which is the private Facebook group, planforpossible.com. You just sign up right there. Tell us about what you've done with your friends. I would love, love, love to know. I'll see you next week. Mwah. Goodbye.